Mock game Saturday. We won. That was good. Defense played really well. No third down conversions and like 8 sacks. Offense was up and down, did not play as well as we would like, especially in the second half. So we had a few turnovers and some special teams execution issue, but just remind us we got a lot of work to do.
All right, Nate, go ahead and start us off.
Just from the last few scrimmages, it seems like turnovers have been a pretty consistent issues. I know you've singled out the quarterbacks for those a little bit. Can you just talk about kind of the turnovers and maybe mental errors? And I mean, you have 1 week to fix that. How do you kind of improve there?
More consistent quarterback play. It wasn't, a bunch of fumbles. We've been pretty good with ball security. It's been interceptions and usually it's been the quarterback. Sometimes maybe a tip pass or something like that. But these are just either inaccurate throws or poor decision making. So we got to get back to playing like we were initially because the first scrimmage they were both really good.
We'll go to Ben.
Yeah, Lane, it's been asked pretty much every week, mostly by me. But what's the update on Otis Reese and if he's gotten clear or not?
Fortunately, we still do not have an answer. We've not got an answer from the NCAA, which then's got to go SEC after that. So, kind of makes it difficult, because of trying to plan and figuring out, same with Leonard. Here's 2 guys that potentially would be starters for us that we don't know what to do, and we're trying to practice to really, we only got 2 practices left, really, Tuesday and Wednesday. So sure, it'd be nice to know.
Neil, go ahead with your question.
Yeah, Lane, I know it's been a really weird build-up to it with COVID and no spring and a weird summer and all that, but have you had an opportunity or just a moment to even think about, what Saturday will be like for you from a, just an emotional, professional standpoint?
I think I'm a real emotional guy on things, so I don't think it'll be any different for me. But I do think that, very happy for a lot of people put a lot of effort for this to happen. Started with the commissioner, and then the athletic directors and presidents, chancellors, just to get it okayed, and then all the people, medical people and everything around here helping. So a lot of people have done a lot of stuff to get to this point. So very grateful for that.
I know last week you were pretty optimistic from a COVID standpoint. Does that still stand today?
Yeah, I mean, we're now 2 weeks in a row with 0. So we've been very fortunate here, especially these were the 2 most important because you'd obviously be out for the opener if you got it. So hopefully it'll be 3 weeks in a row.
Go to Nick.
To be clear, do you have anybody left in the COVID protocols right now, or is it completely empty?
Do not.
Okay, so going off of that, this is the first week you've had probably a completely full roster. What does it look like now that you have the entire group to work with?
Well, we're still guys. A lot of guys coming back here, are right on the border of injuries, hamstring type injuries and things. So we were still really down at some positions, especially receiver. So an offensive line. So we got to get these guys back, here, and hopefully they will be tomorrow.
Go to Parrish.
Lane, without completely giving away a game plan, can you help us understand what John Rice's role might be if he is not the starting quarterback?
I mean, that's tough to answer. I don't know how I can really answer that. I mean, one of them's going to start, and, there's a good chance both of them will play.
Thanks.
Go to David.
Hey, Lane, just following up on those COVID questions. How did the obviously the 3 times a week testing trial worked out well for you guys. This week, do you see that as a competitive issue? And, will you keep a lid on who's going to play on Saturday when those Friday tests are done? I'm sure you will, but just wanted to ask.
Yeah, I would think most coaches would, keep that in-house. So I would be one of those.
Go back to Ben.
Lane, one of the guys you got good news on was Tavius Robinson, and he's starting at Buck, or listed that way on the depth chart. Just what have you seen from him since he's gotten here, and then the development he's made over the course of a month of practices?
Well, he's got a really big ceiling, and obviously got here late, from a weightlifting standpoint. So, he's a little behind that way. Would have really enjoyed to have him for a whole spring and all that. And so he'll obviously play a lot, but I think he will continue to improve more than the normal player throughout the season.
Go ahead, Nick.
A couple of your players this camp have alluded to maybe wanting to do some sort of demonstration before the game and maybe working with Florida to kind of get that done. What conversations have you had with your players, or maybe with Coach Mullen, just about kind of figuring out what the teams are going to do?
Yeah, we have an idea, of what we're going to do, and I think it'll be pretty neat when you guys see it. Will
it be happening with the opponent, or will it be happening independent of them? Will it be happening pregame? Can you give any details?
Schedule now is, as long as it goes as planned, is to do something with Florida. Yes, both teams are on the same page.
We'll go back to Parrish.
Hey, Lane, you were talking about turnovers and not as quite the consistency you wanted to see from your quarterbacks as of late. What have you seen from your defense? Have they been more consistent as camp has gone on, and how do you evaluate them at this time?
I think defense early was hit with COVID, especially in the secondary. So they've continued to improve. We did not play well that first scrimmage at all, and really have played better every single week. So, and Saturday was really good. Now, obviously, the quality of opponent's not SEC opponent, but they did about as good as you can.
Specifically, Sam Williams, how has he come back into the team? What is his game speed like right now? Where do you see there?
He's doing really well. Still some conditioning work to be done, just missing the time. But, like we talked about Robinson, I think this will be someone that continues to improve through the year, just from missing some time.
Thank you.
Yep.
Go ahead, David.
Lane, can you speak generally about the challenges you guys are going to face Saturday with Florida?
Well, I think team speed, they're always fast, always have been, especially at skill. And so, you look, there's a lot of games, people aren't scoring a lot of points last year against these guys. And they held a lot of people down, I want to say under 20, 24 points. So there's a big challenge there. And, our first game having no spring practice, there's going to be challenges there as well for everyone.
Go ahead, Ben.
Lane, Dalen Gill's a newcomer. We haven't heard a lot about his camp and how he's done. How would you assess his performance so far and what he's done over a month of practices?
Really well. Probably as good as anybody when it comes to, someone that hasn't played before, making an impact in scrimmages and playing. So, we're really excited about him.
Go ahead, Nick.
Are there any changes on your end of what you can do pregame and the night before a game with COVID? Are you changing hotel stuff and bus stuff, or is everything just kind of the way you always do it?
We're making sure that the, meeting room's bigger than normal. Over at the hotel, we are staying here now, which I guess in the past they didn't. And I think we have more buses than normal also.
We'll go back to David.
Yeah, Lane, could you tell us maybe some of the true freshmen you expect to get playing time on Saturday?
Oh, Cedric Johnson, Mark Britt, Henry Parrish, potential of Eli Acker, and Kentrell Bullock.
Go ahead, Parrish.
Lane, can you speak specifically to Britt and how you think he has developed at safety after moving there?
Doing well. You know, another, like we talked about, guys that will improve, you know, haven't missed time, you know. So he was out for a while, but has really done a good job being thrown over there at the last minute like that.
I know you moved him over early in camp, but was he on a path to see some playing time at receiver?
He was. You know, he would have seen time on either side. So I don't know where he'll end up long term.
Go back to Nick.
Slightly off topic here, but any reaction to Deion Sanders getting that job down in Jackson, and just kind of what do you think it means for this state, for yourself and Mike Leach and Deion, three pretty big names to all be coaching here?
Oh, due to the fact we're kind of still in training camp here, I did not know that. So you just informed me of that. I don't get to watch a lot of TV or hear a lot of information. So congratulations to him. That's awesome.